when three leather-clad bikers rolled into our driveway and surrounded my pregnant wife, Elena, while she was unloading groceries. I initially thought it might be random road rage. But then I spotted our HOA president, Delilah Hartwell, smirking from across the street like she was enjoying her favorite show. From my kitchen window, coffee mug paused mid-sip. I watched these wannabe tough guys circle her, their steel-toed boots crunching gravel that sounded ominous even through the screen door, motorcycle exhaust stinging the air. The biggest one, skull bandana and beer gut on full display, stepped so close that her bags tumbled to the concrete. "Lady, there's going to be consequences for your husband's non-compliance," he growled, clearly reading from a script. Elena, 7 months pregnant, didn't flinch or cry. She just gathered her things with ice-cold calm and walked inside. That's when I knew these guys had no clue what they'd stepped into. 12 years as a military contractor had taught me how to spot real threats, gather intel, and resolve problems efficiently. In exactly 3 minutes, these clowns would be at my door, not threatening, but begging me to make their nightmare end. Delilah was about to discover that targeting a soldier's pregnant wife is the fastest way to end your own career. What would you do if bikers showed up over lawn violations? Drop your location. I guarantee your HOA has its own horror stories too. Let me back up. I'm Marcus M. Donovan, 45, spent over a decade managing logistics in high-risk zones where one wrong word could get you killed. Elena, 32, is a pediatric nurse, tough, steady, and now carrying our first child. 6 months ago, we bought a corner lot house in Willowbrook Estates for $485,000, drawn to the space for our growing family. On the surface, it's suburban perfection. Manicured lawns, uniform mailboxes, people scooping dog waste with those little plastic bags. But underneath, it's a petty dictatorship run by Delilah Hartwell, 52, HOA president for 6 unchallenged years. As a real estate agent, she profits from inflated property values, so any deviation from her vision gets crushed. She lives in the biggest house, too. 3 acres, $750,000. And if you think that's coincidence, you've never met a small-town tyrant. Our trouble started small. Instead of water-guzzling grass, I put in drought-resistant native plants. Environmentally smart, county-encouraged water saving. 2 days after completion, Delilah appeared with a violation notice. Unapproved landscaping materials. I researched everything, bylaws, ordinances, conservation guidelines, and my setup was not just compliant, but recommended. I filed a formal appeal with supporting docs from the Water Authority and Environmental Studies. That's when the real harassment began. Weekly notices for nonsense. Fence height, legal. Mailbox style, identical to neighbors. Unnecessary tree pruning. But her allies got passes on identical issues. Sweet 70-year-old widow Martha Kowalski racked up $8,000 in fines over a garden gnome. Young couple Trevor and Sage faced constant grief over solar panels that actually boosted home value. I installed security cameras after noticing slow-driving cars who passed our house. Caught board members photographing our yard like we were suspects. Elena just wanted peace during pregnancy. "Can't we plant grass and avoid this?" she'd ask. But I'd seen enough bullies in combat zones to know appeasement invites escalation. We weren't just fighting for ourselves. It was for every family steamrolled by clipboard tyrants. Notices piled up on cheap paper, threatening bigger fines, liens, legal action. Delilah's mistake, assuming I'd fold like her past victims. She never dealt with someone who'd run supply chains in war zones. 3 weeks later, she called an emergency board meeting on my and Elena's schedules. Tuesday, 2 p.m., during her hospital shift and my PT appointment for an old shoulder injury. Stacked with cronies, they passed a $2,500 fine plus $50 daily until I replaced my non-compliant plants. Meeting lasted 12 minutes. I timed it on footage later, but I had read the 87-page governing docs nobody else bothered with. From military days, I knew hierarchies, CC and RS top, then bylaws, then rules. Contradictions invalidate lower ones. Section 4. 3. 2 required 72-hour notice for emergencies. They gave 48. That made the meeting, vote, and fine legally void. I crafted a challenge citing statutes, submitted certified copies. Then, digging deeper, Delilah amended bylaws twice in 18 months without membership approval. Original rules required full vote for fine increases over $100. Every penalty for the past year and a half was worthless. I sent certified letters to all 127 homeowners detailing violations, including copies of illegal amendments and an offer for free consultation on overcharges. Floodgates opened. 23 families contacted me in 48 hours with stories. Martha's known persecution, Trevor/Sage's solar harassment, retired teacher Dorothy fined $600 for a wrong blue door on the approved chart. Neighbors streamed by sharing tales over coffee and papers. By week's end, I had evidence to bury her operation. Delilah panicked, threatened liens, and mortgage contacts claiming violations hurt values. I organized a coalition with shared legal rep, prepping class action against 18 months of illegal fines. She hired executive protection services, polo shirt guys and a white Explorer, to patrol, focusing on us. They issued trespass warnings for sidewalk use. One guard, Jimmy, ex-military, recognized me and spilled. Company owned by Delilah's brother-in-law, contract to make residents uncomfortable enough to move. He showed photos of harassment. I documented their violations. Operating unlicensed, no badges harassment. They subcontracted serious intimidation to Ironwood Riders, weekend bikers led by Delilah's nephew Randy, fraud conviction, lives with mom. I built the coalition. Meetings at Murphy's Diner grew from 7 to 47. Retired attorney Phyllis Brennan joined pro bono. She hated bullies. Former Councilman Diego Ramirez brought connections and media know-how. Delilah escalated. Noise complaints about my mower, legal hours, zoning gripes on my occasional consulting. Every move gave more ammo. I filed state oversight complaints on illegal amendments, selective enforcement, financial issues. Then footage caught Delilah handing cash to Randy behind the community center, whatever it takes to get them out. Premeditated harassment, conspiracy. The biker incident hit Thursday morning while I was at PT. Elena loading groceries, humming, hand on belly. 3 Harleys rumble in. Randy and Buddy surround her. Your husband's causing problems. Serious consequences. Scripted threat. Elena stays calm, picks up groceries, walks in like dismissing courtiers. Calls me. Our HOA problem just got serious. I race home, adrenaline sharp. But by arrival, they're gone. Elena documents everything. 3 minutes of calls, State Patrol runs plates, DA contact on intimidation, PI favor. Intel, Randy warrant for child support, Jake parole violation, Tommy missed anger classes. Phone rings, Randy's girlfriend from lockup, sobbing, make it stop. Then Jake and Tommy at my door, defeated, apologetic. We just want to apologize. Got a hand. They confess. Delilah paid $500 cash to scare Elena when I was away, hoping to pressure me via her. Recorded statements, cooperation for DA leniency. Word spread like wildfire. Resistance possible. Neighbors gathered, rebellion in the air. While Delilah intimidated with discount bikers, I FOIA'd city files. Development agreement required 15% affordable housing, 12 units, 0 built. Promised $600,000 in lieu fees, never paid. HOA fees funneled $340,000 plus to her shell company for fake/overpriced services. Forensic audit with Martha. $480,000 plus embezzled over 6 years. Fake invoices, personal expenses, car lease, club fees, Hawaii conference. Coalition war room. Phyllis legal, Diego media/politics, Martha books, Trevor/Sage digital. Phases. Audit, multi-agency complaints, transparent meeting, new election. Delilah's desperate $5,000 emergency assessment for legal defense failed spectacularly at packed meeting. Martha demanded audit, vote 102 to 3 against. Her harassment ramped up, anonymous complaints, rumors. Hired PI to dig on me. Backfired, uncovered more of her crimes. PI withdrew, suggested DA contact. Restraining order attempt collapsed. My footage proved fabrication. Judge warned her on false reports. Media flipped after her victim play. Channel 7 investigated her fraud. Final presentation at Church Hall. 312 attendees, officials, cameras. Evidence avalanche. Financials, recordings, testimonies. Delilah arrested mid-rant for fraud, conspiracy, false reports. Board dissolved, new transparent one elected. Delilah, 8 years prison, $680,000 restitution. Randy, 18 months plus teaching safety. Community bought her foreclosed house as center. 6 months later, pushing our daughter Hope through native garden in former tyrant yard. Property values up 12% from real community. I help other HOAs fight corruption. State reforms passed. One person with evidence and allies can topple any corrupt system. Bullies rely on silence. Read the fine print, stand up. Share your HOA stories. We'll find your path to justice.